مثلا معلوم میگی پده دومراخ چه مجاهدین حاکم شوید دی افغانستان که
It's too difficult for being alive in Afghanistan nowadays.
I feel extremely abandoned. I'm in danger. It's not.
When the Taliban took back control of Afghanistan, it sparked panic for people across the country, and many tried to escape. But those left in the country now live under a Taliban government, whether they like it or not. So just how popular are they in Afghanistan, and who actually supports them? The Taliban were first in power from 1996 to 2001. They ruled Afghanistan with a strict interpretation of Sharia law. After 9/11, a multinational coalition led by America invaded the country, ousting them from power. During the invasion, the Taliban were part of a resistance movement against the foreign forces occupying Afghanistan. The more that night raids, drone attacks and civilian casualties increased, the more it radicalized parts of the civilian population and drew them to the Taliban. His hands say it all. We didn't come into this for money, he says. We can't be bought. Here they claim the French forces killed women and children whilst they slept. He says they put bombs under their bodies, so all that was left was their legs. By 2009, more than half of Afghans asked said they had sympathy for the armed opposition groups, including the Taliban. This didn't last, though, and by 2019, that had significantly dropped. But 2 years later, they were back in power. So how did this happen? The Taliban are a predominantly Pashtun group, with Taliban actually meaning student in Pashto. And they retain support in the largely Pashtun regions of Afghanistan, which make up much of the country's south and east. The Talibs gained support in the 90s due to their promises to restore order in the country. They had the same appeal in 2021, vowing to crack down on corruption in the government.
And from the very beginning, meaning 2001, 2002, the U.S. started to make payments that ultimately laid the foundation for the enormous corruption issues that ensued over the next 20 years.
اوس خو چې په الحال منګور ورې خو وضعیت ان شاء الله زموږ په وطن کې روان ده
تغیر خو خدای شاهد ده چې ډېر نو
زموږ غوښتنې دا دي ورجانه چې هغه نه خو حکومت غواړو هغه نه دغه ظلم او ستم دغه شیان باید سیسته کې دا زورواکي سیسته کې او غریبانو ته د یو ځای برابر کې زمينه برابر کې او کاروبار لپاره
Afghanistan now it's good, not bad, but just the women are not coming outside the houses, and some people are worrying because the Taliban have a bad future before.
Are you worried?
Yes, I am.
In the first few weeks of Taliban power, 20 years on, we've noticed a lot of tension on the streets, with Afghans unsure about which way it's all going to go. There's a lot of distrust about whether the Taliban really have changed.
But look at these people. They do not have food at home now.
They don't want me, because I'm a girl. I don't have the right to come out of my home without a meal.
Huge numbers of women, human rights defenders, journalists and former government staff or those who worked for the foreigners are in hiding, running from place to place for fear of revenge attacks from the Taliban, despite the Taliban's claims of an amnesty.
It is possible I'll be killed next time, because the Taliban don't have mercy on journalists, on children, women, on anyone. They just do what they want. They only know how to kill and hit.
Regardless of whether the public support them or not, the Taliban are back in power. Their claims that they've changed are at odds with the persistent reports of targeted killings, beatings, and brutal crackdowns on dissent. Convincing the world that they have reformed may be the Taliban's biggest battle.